Now, I talk a lot on this channel about getting the most with what you have, right? We want to create pro video without the need for pro gear. You don't need to drop thousands of dollars on the latest mirrorless camera when you can get some pretty good looking content from what's already in your pocket. And to drive that point home, friend, everything that you're seeing right now is being filmed on my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I am going to show you exactly how I did it. Now, if you didn't catch the video from last week, we actually talked about how to create your own film studio for less than $600. And I'm using everything that I talked about in that video, from lights to microphones to, of course, my camera, which is my iPhone. So if you like what you're seeing here, make sure you check out that video because I do go into the specifics of the gear. Now, today I'm going to be talking about some of the practical applications that you can do right away to immediately enhance the production quality of your video. And then I'll dive into my iPhone as well, just to show you a couple of the settings that I tweak to make sure I'm getting the most data and the best picture. Now let's go ahead and get started with the first and, in my opinion, probably easiest thing for you to tweak, and that's your composition, right? Your framing. The easiest way to up the level, the visual appeal of your video is simply by choosing a background that's not noisy or distracting, by choosing something that's somewhat attractive or at least relevant to the content that you're producing, and making sure that you're framed nicely in the center. If this is the style of video that you're shooting, if it's a client interview style video, you might be in one of the thirds, to the right or to the left. But you want to get your framing and your composition right, because that's really going to invite the viewer into your video so that they feel like they're a part of that conversation. So as you can see, I'm usually always sitting right in front of my desk and my computer. I've got my practical lights on, the blue strip behind me here. This is how I normally set up my YouTube videos, so I didn't want to make things any different, even though I am shooting on my iPhone and not my camera. In fact, you can probably see my Canon EOS R8 in the background on my desk, just to show you that I'm not in fact using that camera right now. So getting our framing is key stop number one, and quite honestly, the simplest fix that you can do right away. Now, the next thing that we need to do to up the production quality of our video is to get some good lighting. One of the things that I notice about most iPhone or cell phone quality videos is folks aren't really taking into consideration how much lighting affects their video. And so you need to make sure that you have the ability to kill the overhead lights, the room lights, especially if they're harsh fluorescent lights or those LEDs. They just create really dark shadows under the eyes, under the nose, not very flattering. So what you want to do is have a nice softbox. Again, I talked about this in a previous video. For 99 bucks on Amazon, you can actually get 2 softboxes that allow you to change the color temperature. I'm just using one light here today. I'm filming at night, so I do have a lamp all the way in the corner of my bedroom just for a little added light. That's basically for me to not trip over things. It's not really adding anything to the video. But what the light that you're seeing here today is just my softbox I have here sitting on my bed next to me. And then the next practical thing that we want to change about our video is to have a high quality microphone. I am speaking directly into my Rode NTG2 shotgun mic. I've talked about this a lot in several videos in the past. You can do the lavalier mics as well if that's the route that you choose to go, but I am speaking directly into my shotgun mic. Now, just to give you a comparison of high quality audio captured on my Rode shotgun mic versus what's being captured via the iPhone, I'm just gonna switch to the iPhone real quick. So there you go. Everything that you're hearing right now is coming directly out of my iPhone. My iPhone is probably 4.5 feet away from my face right now. It's not terrible. There's a lot of science and technology going on inside of the iPhone to make the audio sound as clear as it is, but you can still pick up some of that room tone, some of that noise, some of the reflections, versus if I switch back to my Rode mic, it's much clearer. You're getting much more of the upper chest resonance, and that is the sound that we want to bring to the table, because that high quality audio is really going to set your iPhone footage apart. Okay, so we've talked about some of the easy practical things that you can do to instantly upgrade the production quality of your video. We talked about framing and composition, right? Making sure we have no distractions behind us. We talked about getting ourselves a nice softbox or good lighting so that we're not using the overhead lighting. Friend, if you don't have good lighting at your disposal, you can always sit in front of a window if it's during the daytime. I am filming at night here this evening, so I did have to bring in some artificial light, but you can always sit in front of a window and use light that way, filter it with a curtain or a bed sheet if you need to, build your own softbox that way. And then of course we talked about audio as well. I'm using my Rode shotgun mic, as I've talked about several times in previous videos, but again, you could get away with a lavalier mic. We just want to get away from using anything that's at the source. The camera is going to be far away. Whether it's an iPhone or a legit cinema camera, the camera is typically not right up against your face, and it's not designed to capture audio that's so far away. So we want to get away from using the audio that's built into our phones or our camera devices and get something external like a shotgun mic. I would recommend for any videographer to have on set. Okay, now that we've covered all of the external components that we can change and manipulate to improve our video quality, we've got to dive into the settings a little bit. I want to show you what I'm doing within the phone and not just using the default settings that come with it. So let's talk through that for a little bit. Straight out of the box, your phone is probably going to be set up to shoot in HD, 30 frames per second. It's all colorized. It's all done up well, but it's going to be a lower format, a lower quality image. If you don't believe me, go all the way back to the first video on this YouTube channel. I think it's called Does Your Camera Really Matter? Ironically, I filmed that entirely with my iPhone, and you can see that it's a little grainy and the framing is off. I'm prone to make mistakes too. Obviously, I've learned along the way, but I'm going to show you today how we actually want to get away from some of those default settings. What we're going to be looking for within our iPhone menu. I believe this came in around the iPhone 13 or 14 era. Again, I'm on the iPhone 15. Everything from here on out, I know for sure, has log format. So we want to navigate into our camera settings, go into the menu, go into the camera application itself, and we want to unlock Apple ProRes is what we're looking for. And then there should be another option for Apple encoding or ProRes encoding that allows you to shoot in log format. So when you come back to your camera and you're choosing video, we want to shoot in 4K footage, right? That's the highest quality, highest resolution image that we can get out of our iPhone. And we're going to be shooting an Apple ProRes log. What this is going to do is shoot your image. Your image is going to be almost grayscale. There will be very little color in that, and you may start to think that you did something wrong. Nope, friend, this is just what it looks like to be in log format. It captures so much more data. So I do need to give you the disclaimer that you'll need some way to record to an external hard drive. Your iPhone likely won't have enough storage to be shooting an Apple ProRes log on its own. I'm currently connected to a 2 gigabyte Samsung T7 SSD straight into my iPhone. So everything that's happening right now is literally being filtered right into that SSD. I'll then take that out of my iPhone, pop it into my computer, and then I'll be able to edit post-production that way. Very handy. So check that out. You'll need some sort of external hard drive or SSD to be able to record in log format on your iPhone. All you got to do is get everything set up like we've talked about, composition, lighting, and audio, hit record, and you are good to go. Now, as I mentioned, your video is going to come out looking flat. It's going to be a grayscale image. So why don't we jump to the computer? I'm going to pull up Premiere Pro and show you the footage that I'm filming right now. And I'm going to show you what you can do right inside of Premiere. You don't need to download. You don't need to look for any other plugins. You don't need to buy anything. It's actually built right into Premiere, Apple ProRes. There is a LUT that we can drop on to bring all that color data back into the picture. And I'm going to show you how to do it with just a few clicks. So let's jump to my computer now. We are back inside Premiere Pro. And as always, let's check out the version. We are running version 25.6.4, build 5. Honestly, ever since Apple rolled out log footage capability within their iPhones, I'm pretty sure Premiere Pro had this feature built right in. So we don't even need to download any LUTs. We don't need to be sourcing the internet or buy anything. It's just built right into Premiere Pro, and I'm going to show you how to find that. So all I've done up to this point is just taken my iPhone footage and pulled it right onto my timeline. That's what you're seeing here. Here's that flat image I was telling you about. Now, I do want to be in our color workspace, so you'll just need to go through and select color. It's going to default to this edit tab. Now, most of the time we're doing our work in basic correction or some of these drop-down menus here below, but for the purposes of Apple ProRes log format, we actually need to go into the Lumetri color settings. Now, I've actually pulled in log footage from my iPhone previously, so my computer detected this right away and automatically applied the setting that we're going to change here. So let me open this up a little bit so you can see better. On your computer, you'll want to look for this Use Media Color space, and mine's showing Apple Log Rec 2020. And now we have a good colorful image that we can work with. So I'll go back to my edit side of things. And here you can adjust any of your contrast. You can adjust all the things that you need to do to fine tune your image. You can even get creative and throw on an additional LUT if you really want to change the color up a little bit that way and adjust the intensity there. And so now you can see we're already starting to get a nice image with a lot of depth and color space that separates itself from just the default settings on most people's iPhones or smartphones. Now we're getting something that really looks high quality and professional. The only thing that I do notice here that I do prefer more out of my Canon camera versus my iPhone is you're not getting a whole lot of the bokeh or the blurred out background here. Everything is in fine detail, so you can see the clutter on my desk. I talked about not having a distracting background, and I have exactly that here. And part of that is because the focal length on the iPhone is not the same as some of the interchangeable lenses that you get with your interchangeable lens mirrorless camera. And you're not able to adjust some of those components. Now, I know you might say, well, Sean, if you just put your camera in cinematic mode, it does blur out the background. Well, it's a software added into the phone. It's not actually happening in the lens, it's happening in the computer of the phone. And if you start to watch back a lot of folks who post videos using their iPhone and it does have that blurred out background, look at the edges of the subject around the hair, around the ears. You're going to notice that there's some overlap in the blur. The blur from the background is going to touch the subject a little bit. And that's usually like a clear sign that it's not real bokeh. It's not real aperture happening. You're not creating a shallow depth of field. It's just a sensor within the camera that's trying to mimic that feature. And so in this case, we shot in log format. I didn't use cinematic mode. So you're getting crystal clear 4K quality image. That's what I was going for. I have all the color detail and data that I need to produce a video that I'm really happy with. The only downside is I'm just lacking some of that blurred out background. Now, if I was much closer to the camera, it would have focused on me a bit more and blurred that out. But in this space, it's a pretty small space. So I'm sitting close to the desk. I'm also sitting pretty close to the camera as well. So everything is in fine detail. As long as you're okay with that, you can still have some really good footage right out of your smartphone. Friend, I hope you're finding this to be encouraging, that you don't have to go out and drop hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get great looking content when you could be filming right on your iPhone at home, something that you already have access to and likely doesn't cost you anything. Don't get me wrong, iPhones are ridiculously expensive, but if you already have access to one, or if you can even borrow one for crying out loud, you can create high quality, professional looking content right from home. Friend, before you go, if any of this is interesting to you, or if you like what you're seeing here and you want to learn more about my setup, check out some previous videos I did. One of them is how to create a film studio for less than $200. So if that's your budget, $200, check out that video. And I talk a lot about the things that I have set up here today. If your budget is closer to $600, I'm telling you, everything that you see here today would fit within that $600 threshold. And I'll unpack a bit more of the gear there as well. So I would encourage you to go check those videos out if you are interested in more of the setup and what gear is required to make this happen. Friend, I do want to leave you with a free gift for hanging out with me. It's my 6 steps to creating better video guide. Just go to guidedproductions.com/better video guide. I help navigate everything from the idea phase, right? Developing your message, your story, all the way through what gear it takes to create a professional looking video. I'll take you through production and of course give you editing best practices as well. It's the whole package from idea to export, and I've put it together in an easy to follow PDF format. It's my free gift to you. Just go to guidedproductions.com/better video guide to download your free copy today. Friend, thank you for spending some time with me. I hope this is helpful. Leave a comment or drop a like if this is helpful, or if you have any questions. And of course, subscribe to Guided Productions if you are getting started in your video journey, because I will continue to build resources around these areas to help you get up to speed faster to create pro video without the need for buying pro gear. All of the things that I wish I would have known when I was getting started. I just want to put it in one happy place for you to find. So friend, get out there, start creating amazing content with your iPhone, and I will see you on another video real soon.